dream for this game was to take the things we loved about superheroes, which is kind of the DNA of superheroes, graphic novels, the kinds of narratives, the kinds of stories, characters, situations, powers that the whole genre gives you, but we wanted to try and grow that outward from a video game. Not start it as a linear book or a linear movie, really think about it as an interactive piece of entertainment. And to us, a lot of those things that are interesting involve kind of the responsibility, power questions, the way that the city reacts to you and the way that people react to superheroes, and also the kind of coming-of-age story of learning how your powers work. So, as I said, the dream of this game is to give you the experience of becoming a superhero. You know, the characters in the game are very grounded people. Cole and his buddy Zeke, before the blast, are kind of low-status guys. They're college dropout bike messengers, and his girlfriend is a med student. And on one fateful day, Cole delivers a package that causes a great explosion. It destroys a big section of the urban core, and it gives Cole powers. And so the beginning of the game is kind of Cole coming to terms with having those powers and trying to understand what the heck is going on. And so, you know, as a player, you have to learn how these powers work and what goes on. So we're about a quarter of the way through the game at this point, and Cole is he's trying to solve kind of the bigger question of what's happening, but there's also things going wrong in the city, and in this case, there's you can see there's other people who've maybe gotten powers. People are exhibiting other special abilities, not just Cole. But also, there's kind of a poisoning going on in the city, in this part of the city, and someone's pumping some kind of black tar into the city's water supply. So we're trying to shut that off and find its source at this stage of the game right now. But, you know, it sort of points to the bigger picture for us, which is this is a living and breathing city. It's a simulated population. Each neighborhood and district is its own little micro-ecology. The people remember what you've done in each of those districts. If you've been a good guy and you've rid the neighborhood of trouble and bad guys, then those people are going to be supportive of you. They may even start plastering the walls with your picture. On the other hand, if you decide to kind of go the anti-hero route and hurt people, you know, cause mayhem, destroy things, then the people will sort of marshal themselves against you and create new challenges for you. And as you probably noticed as Greg's moving around here, Cole is particularly agile guy, and a big part of the mythology of Cole is that, you know, kind of as a spare time activity, especially before the blast, he was an urban explorer, a guy who liked to climb around in abandoned power stations and sewers and other things that maybe are kind of off limits. And as a superhero, that becomes particularly interesting. And we've built an entire open city. All of Empire City is created so that Cole can climb on, around, above, below, every bridge, every walkway, every fence, every pipe. You can see that Greg is just moving up the buildings. And that's a big part of the fun of being a hero is not just kind of being earthbound and being on the streets, but moving around, moving through the environment kind of fluidly, and having awesome superpowers. So some of the narrative that we kind of miss because it's a little hard to follow in a video setting that's happening here is that we think that maybe the source of this poison is coming from down inside this tunnel where some of the water mains are. See, Greg there is kind of using himself as a human defibrillator. Cole is kind of his powers all revolve around his mastery of electricity. He can draw energy from the city. He can project that forward as force. Here he's kind of combining his combat abilities with his climbing ability, kind of vertically ducking and covering. And this to us is what we dreamed of making, was a game where you could move through the city kind of organically, how and where and when you wanted, interact with enemies, and kind of make your own superhero story instead of playing one that was written for you. I should add that all the simulations of the population, the electrical power grid throughout the city is a complete simulation. You can see there as he moves through water, all of that. It's a big simulation. And a lot of this is, to us, what we set out to try and dream of a next-generation game. And really, the PlayStation's been an ideal platform for us. The ridiculous computational power of the SPUs, put to use running simulations, rendering, doing visibility detection, AI, physics, collision. It's really been a wonderful platform for us to go ahead and try and make Infamous sort of our dream game. So we come up at the end of this tunnel where we're finding they've got a large truck. This gang is called the Reapers, and they've got a large truck where they're pumping this kind of tar, and we don't really know the source of this tar. They're pumping this tar into the city's water supply here, so we're going to try and knock that out. Win a few friends up above the area here, and hopefully learn a little bit more about what's going on. Nicely done, Greg. Well, that was the part of the game we wanted to show. I'm going to leave you with one more demo, and I'm going to thank you for your attention.